Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to a new episode of the Supes Show, dropping every Friday morning. Today, obviously, this episode is dropping on a Saturday because we had some technical difficulties with equipment yesterday. But we're here, we're back. Connor, say what's up to the people.
What is up, everyone? Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, guys. Once again, make sure to go over and check out Connor's content over. Links will be in the description of this video.
It's good stuff.
And so, guys, it's been a crazy week. Obviously, a ton of stuff for Man of Tomorrow. We're going to be talking a lot of stuff about that this episode, as well as the future 2027 releases. And then we're going to be getting to some fan questions at the very end. But right before we dive in, I wanted to shout out that this week we have our very own Batman comic that is officially out there. It's officially released. You guys can buy it in the description of this video because Batman #1 is officially out there. And, you know, we got to collaborate with DC Comics and come up with our own custom cover. And we have them in hand and we're ready to ship them out to you guys. So make sure to get them in the description of this video. And, you know, this is Batman #1. So if you guys have never read comics, this is such a great place to dive right in, get started, and then just follow the series from Batman 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. But pretty cool, guys. We got to design this cover from start to finish, and I am absolutely obsessed with it. It is definitely going somewhere in the back of this setup. But with that being said, this week we got the sequel announcement for Superman, titled Man of Tomorrow, hitting theaters July 9th, 2027. I was on my freaking toilet when I got this notification, and I absolutely started freaking out and, you know, finished up pretty quickly. Connor, what was your reaction when you got that notification? Because it felt like time stood still, and we weren't expecting it at all.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I was just, like, scrolling Twitter, and I see it, and I had to do a double take because I was like, I see the beautiful artwork. I'm like, oh, it's just beautiful artwork. And then I see that description, July 7th, 2027, like, and I was like, he just announced the next movie. What are we actually doing here? It was the craziest, like, double take turnaround I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like nowadays it's just so rare that we get a sequel to a superhero film just 2 years after the film releases. Like, bro, Superman, like, just hit digital. It just came out in theaters this past July, like 2 months ago. And so it is just insane that we can already look forward to seeing Superman in theaters once again alongside all of the other characters like Lex Luthor, Lois Lane, and so on and so forth. But what a just... You know, I really felt bad for Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi, because he had responded to some tweets regarding the announcement, because we haven't gotten a Shang-Chi sequel in 4 or 5 years since the original film came out. And at this point, I don't think we're getting a Shang-Chi sequel ever.
No, at least not until after Secret Wars. Like, this is so bad. I'm glad that supposedly they're trying to make him one of the main characters in Doomsday and Secret Wars to kind of make up for it. But it's crazy that his movie did so well and he never got a sequel.
Man, and I wanted it so bad. You know, you had the team there, Destin Daniel Cretton. You could have just hired him to direct a sequel to release in like 2024, 2023. After the first one came out. But that didn't happen, and now Marvel's obviously in a very different space. And I'm still super excited to see what Marvel has in store. But going forward into the next saga, I definitely want Marvel to plan sequels.
Please.
Right now, Matt Shakman should be working on Fantastic Four 2, set to release in like 2028.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
The Fantastic Four are one of Marvel's mainstay teams. They're going to be around for a very long time, considering they also just introduced them for the first time, and they're only going to get more popular after Doomsday and Secret Wars. So let's prep that sequel and get it ready to go.
It should feel like a no-brainer. Like, the fact that Brand New Day has taken 5 years since No Way Home, I mean, it's like, we want Spider-Man. We should be getting Spider-Man damn near bi-yearly. Like, it's crazy to have to wait this long.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Brand New Day, I'm actually kind of cool with them taking a little break, just because now there could be a little bit of a time jump, and like, because it's like the end of that trilogy, and now a little bit of a break, and now we're in the new trilogy.
I get that. It's just like, you show us that beautiful suit at the very end of No Way Home. You show us this new life he's having, and I had to wait 5 years to see it actually come to fruition. That's tough. That's a tough thing to do.
But I am, yeah. I mean, that's another thing too, is that they should be prepping the Spider-Man sequels as well, and to know where the story is gonna go after Brand New Day.
Yeah, hopefully they wrote the trilogy in this 5 years.
For sure, to have like an outline.
Yeah.
Like I hope that's what they did. I hope they gave Destin Daniel Cretton kind of like that creative power to have an outline of what 3 movies would look like under him, instead of just planning to do a one and done.
I mean, when you have characters like Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, like they should always be in rotation. You should always have your next steps ready.
Now, when it comes to Man of Tomorrow, I want to get back to that because with the announcement, James Gunn posted a little piece of artwork that seemed very interesting with Superman and Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor in his classic, metallic armor. Superman and Lex, it looks like they're going to be working together in this movie. I mean, David Cornsweet posted his own art piece. Nicholas Hoult posted a different one as well. And it does look like this will be a buddy cop movie where they have to team up.
Yeah. I mean, when you have an actor like Nicholas Hoult, it's a no-brainer to make him like a star in as many movies as you can.
Dude, and we said that going into Superman, where we were like, Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor has to be one of those villains that just keeps coming back. Kind of like Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, where like even though he died in the first movie, he still shows up in Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 and has some sort of presence throughout all of the films. Same thing with Joker. Whatever the DC ends up doing with Joker, he should constantly be showing up.
Everywhere. But like you said, it was really cool seeing that they posted 3 different pieces of art, because James Gunn posted one where they're just kind of standing there looking at the screen. And that's definitely the director's vision, just like the toys he's going to play with, the people he's going to mold. Superman, David Cornsweet, he posted them with their backs to each other, like they're forced to work together. And Nicholas Hoult posted them just fighting. Mm-hmm. So you can tell he still has that Lex Luthor animosity to him. And it's just so cool seeing how each of the 3 main players of this movie, how they view their characters and their role in this movie.
Bro, and I can't lie, I love that trope of 2 like a hero and a villain who just like have the most insane beef, are forced to team up and just work together and put their differences aside. I love those types of tropes. We've gotten that with like Thor: The Dark World, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I keep on thinking of like Dark of the Moon.
Oh yeah,
where Megatron intervenes to save Optimus from Sentinel Prime.
That is so true.
And then after that, like obstacle is out the way, they just go back to beefing once again. And I feel like that's gonna happen in this movie.
It's one of the best tropes. I love it so much. Like I like when the new Goblin and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man take on Venom and Sandman. Like it's just perfect. And the best trope is when, like you said, they team up, and then once the day is saved, they're like, we got to get right back into it. Like, I still hate you.
Exactly. Like Megatron literally saved Optimus, and then right there they were on smoke. What would you be without me, Prime? Time to find out. But low key, I think when it comes to Man of Tomorrow, obviously the main villain we're all thinking of is Brainiac, because that's going to be a character that is way smarter than Superman and is constantly going to outsmart him. And so he's going to need the help of one of the greatest brains on planet Earth, who has a ton of different resources to combat someone like Brainiac, which is Lex Luthor. I mean, Lex Luthor in the first movie, his biggest thing was convincing the government to prepare to fight against this alien race. And so one thing I think is very important is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which kind of has a similar title. And I think that film is definitely going to deal with the backstory of Supergirl, the backstory of Krypton, and what happened with that. I think it's very possible that we get a lot of teases to Brainiac and Woman of Tomorrow, and that'll lead directly into the next summer of Superman, which is Man of Tomorrow. And I also think Supergirl is going to play a huge role in Man of Tomorrow as well.
She better.
Despite not being as big of a character in that film as Superman and Lex.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it a lot because Brainiac does make the most sense to me to an extent. He's a very well-known character, huge Superman villain. It would make sense for Lex and him to team up to take him down. But a part of me feels like it's just too early for Brainiac. How do you feel about that?
I feel good about it because I think that's the route they're going, where they are going to set up Brainiac and Woman of Tomorrow, and then boom, the next film is gonna kind of bring some of the elements we've seen in Superman, some of the elements we've seen in Supergirl, some
Yeah.
of the elements we're going to continue to see in Peacemaker season 2,
Yeah.
and it's all gonna come colliding. Like, you know, there's been rumors of us seeing characters like, I mean, even in with Lanterns, because there's been rumors of Aaron Pierre, Jon Stewart being in this.
Yes.
Isabella Merced has already confirmed she's returning in that. Some characters in Peacemaker will probably return in that film as well.
Yeah.
And so it just feels like everything with the story James Gunn has built out, everything is going to come colliding with that film, and Brainiac is the perfect villain to bring everyone together. I also think Brainiac is going to justify a lot of the things Lex has been saying in regards to aliens and the Kryptonian race in the DCU.
Yep.
Another thing as well, which I think is going to be very interesting to see, is that even though Superman and Lex are going to team up, I think Supergirl is going to be the one to cross a line in a way, because again, Supergirl has more beef with Brainiac than Superman does.
Yeah.
You know, Supergirl was the one who was alive to see Krypton completely destroyed, and it was completely destroyed probably due to Brainiac.
Yeah, hopefully.
So if she's the one that's gonna have kind of like the most history with Brainiac, if she's the one that has the most trauma due to his actions, I feel like she's the one that's going to be constantly stepping out of line, trying to just lose herself to her rage and her emotions, and Superman might have to be the one to reel her back in. But Lex Luthor is gonna see that, and he's gonna be like, "Yeah, Supergirl is way too dangerous for Earth." Like,
I feel like that a lot.
You know, I feel like that might be a point where they bump heads in a way.
Yeah. See, a part of me, because that sounds absolutely perfect. A part of me, I was thinking about it in a different way, where if they weren't going to do Brainiac, who could be a good villain to get them together? But everything you just said with Supergirl and everything, it just makes so much more sense. Like, I was going to say Mongol just because you could bring them to War World and, like, force them to team up and shit, but the stakes just aren't as high as what you're saying. And that just sounds like the perfect buildup with Peacemaker, Supergirl, and now Man of Tomorrow. Like, I think it does have to be Brainiac.
Now, here's my thing, right? Do you think Superman and Lex will defeat Brainiac and then fight each other at the end of this movie? Because that could also be a thing that happens too, where they pull kind of like a Last Jedi, where they kill the big villain early in the movie, and then the rest of the third act is about Superman and Lex going back at it.
I think that's the best, especially because if you could do it in a way where it's ominous, where Brainiac gets left, where it's like he needs to come back, kind of like how Lex is coming back for this. Brainiac cannot just be a one-and-done villain at all. He needs to come back stronger, angrier, scarier. So if there's a way they can throw him into space or think he's blown up or something like with Ultraman going into a black hole and then he could come back in a couple of years, that would be perfect.
And in a similar way to how Marvel handled Kang, you know, one of the scariest parts of Kang is that you can kill him, but he's always going to come back.
Yeah.
Brainiac is similar in the sense that his consciousness is kind of like uploaded to his systems. So you can kill his body, but he is going to come back in a different body or in some other way. Like,
That's
he always
true.
has contingencies on contingencies.
Yes. I love Brainiac so much. I would love to see the Brainiac Lex Luthor like merge that we got in Justice League Unlimited. That would be so cool.
That would be really cool, where, you know, they like merged bodies and consciousness.
Yeah, it would be so crazy.
I mean, I could see them doing that for like, actually,
just years down the line. Like, I want these characters to keep showing up.
That would be years down the line. Brainiac can definitely come back stronger as like a Justice League villain.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how Marvel handled Loki. You know, Loki was the villain of the first Thor movie, but then he obviously got a lot more stronger, had an entire army at his disposal, and then boom, he was big enough to be an Avengers villain, and it worked perfectly. So I definitely think we can see Brainiac come back again, despite being the main villain of Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
But another thing I wanted to talk about too, because with a villain like Brainiac that kind of puts all of Earth in jeopardy and is just such a massive threat, there is the possibility that we see other heroes in Man of Tomorrow. Again, Isabella Merced's Hawkgirl. Maybe we see Jon Stewart. Who do you want to see?
Bro, I want to see the OG Justice League lineup. Like, I want to see them come together. If we have Jon Stewart, Hawkgirl, Superman, and Mr. Terrific, bro, we need Flash, we need Batman, we need Wonder Woman. Like, get them all there. Give me my lineup.
I think seeing Wonder Woman would be awesome, because I think her movie is going to come out in 2028. Because James Gunn has pressed that They have been working on that Wonder Woman script. It's a
Yep.
huge priority for them.
Yep.
And it just sound they already have the Anna Nogueira who wrote Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow writing
Yes.
Wonder Woman, and she writes fast and she comes out with great scripts in just a short time frame. And so I think it's possible that we see Wonder Woman potentially in a very, very, very small role in Man of Tomorrow, and then that just leads into her film coming out the next year in 2028.
I mean, if Brainiac does like a world invasion type thing, like then yeah, that leaves so much room to show us everything. Like you can show us Themyscira for a second, you could show us Gotham, you could show us anything.
Now, another one of the things that we always talked about that we're probably going to see in a Superman sequel is the death of Pa Kent. What are the chances that Pa Kent will die in Man of Tomorrow?
Dude, I don't want it to happen, so I'm gonna say 0. I don't want him to die.
I think he's cooked, bro.
I can't, dude.
I think our time with Pa Kent is limited, and it's gonna hurt so badly. I think it's going to be in that Mount Rushmore conversation of comic book deaths, alongside Gwen Stacy, Logan, Tony Stark, because man, to see all of those moments that Clark and Pa shared in the first film,
Yeah.
every single one of those scenes were so deeply emotional, and you could
Yeah.
just feel the love between both of these characters and how much they mean to each other. With a villain like Brainiac, who is literally just the biggest threat this version of Superman has ever faced.
Yep.
He's going to be constantly just focused on saving everyone and saving the world. And that is how you use Pa Kent's death to teach Superman the lesson that no matter how powerful he is, no matter the lengths that he goes to save everyone, sometimes you can't save everyone. Sometimes there's things outside of his power, outside of his control. That is the entire point of Pa Kent's death. And that's why I feel like it's definitely happening in the sequel. And it's going to hurt so bad.
Even thinking about it is breaking my heart right now, bro. I don't want either of them to die. Like, they're so fun.
Yo.
I want the Christmas scene that we got from Justice League TV before he dies. Like, I don't want him to die, man. They're such a great family.
Yeah. Dude.
Such a great version of them for a movie, too. Like, it's going to sting when he dies.
It's going to sting so badly. And I keep on thinking of David's performance, dude.
I know.
Like that's got to be like the most emotional Superman scene ever.
It makes me think of, I don't know if you know this comic where it's kind of like an alien invasion is happening on Earth and he's saving everyone, but then out of nowhere he stops hearing his dad's heartbeat, and so he's like flying at like Mach 5, like crying, being like, I could save everyone. And it's like, it's a brutal sequence. And if we get something like that with an alien invasion from Brainiac, and it is just like a heart attack or aneurysm, he just passes in his sleep or something, and Superman can't do anything about it, it's like, I'm going to be sobbing in the theater. I'm going to be a wreck.
That's how they got to do Pa Kent's death.
Yeah.
Where it's like at the end of the movie and Superman and Lex and Brainiac is done. They saved everyone.
Yeah.
And then Superman starts checking in on the people he cares about through his super hearing. He hears Lois. He hears Jimmy. All of his close friends are safe, but then he checks on Ma and Pa Kent.
And he hears Ma crying.
And
like,
like that scene is simultaneously going on where Ma is like losing Pa Kent because he just like collapsed and fell over. And then Superman flies in super fast. And he starts to hear Pa Kent's heartbeat start to slow. I mean, I love the way...
it's brutal. That's brutal.
Bro, I love the way they did it in Born Again.
Yes.
Where Foggy got shot. And throughout that whole fight scene...
He's just listening.
He's just listening to Foggy's heartbeat start to slow and slow and slow until it completely stops. They should definitely utilize super hearing in that same way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's cool that Superman, like, kind of uses his parents' heartbeats and voices to keep himself like in check, so when he's checking in and he doesn't hear it, it's like he snaps, he's broken. Like, I think it would be crazy. Heartbreaking.
And then I guess then you would have to like pull kind of like a TASM 2 type of ending where it's still like a hopeful ending, however it's just heartbreaking.
Loss is just a part of life. Like, that is a tough lesson to learn, especially in a Superman movie.
Now I want to talk about something that we are all very highly anticipated when it comes to the DCU, which is the DCU Batman. When we look ahead to Man of Tomorrow, it comes out July 2027, and just 3 months later, The Batman Part 2 comes out. And that is obviously one of the most anticipated DC movies of all time. And judging off of the fact that these films come out 3 months apart, I think there's a huge possibility that they could be working in tandem if Rob is going to be the DCU Batman, because nothing has been finalized. James has said it multiple times that nothing is final. They're still trying to figure out what they're going to do with Batman. And so I think that there's a huge possibility that these two films could be working in tandem. And bro, if Rob shows up in the post-credit scene of like Man of Tomorrow, that would get the biggest pop from a theater from a DC film ever.
Ever. You cannot get bigger than that. That would be my dream, because everyone knows this on here, but I am a Pattinson defender. I know he's going to be the DCU Batman. There have been some things recently that have kind of tripped me up, but for the most part, I think everything is pointing to him being the Batman for the DCU.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, here's where I stand with the whole DCU Batman situation. I'm of two mindsets, right? If we get Rob in the DCU, I'm happy, because we have arguably the best Batman we've ever gotten so far in the live action movies as the main Batman in James Gunn's DCU. However, on the other hand, I'm also of the mindset that if Rob isn't the DCU Batman, I'm also cool with that too, because then we can get a fully established Batman, a fantastical Batman who has an entire Bat family, who has the bombastic, fantastical villains, and just embraces every element of Batman's lore. I don't think we'll ever fully get that with Rob's Batman. However, Rob's performance is just that good that I'm on both sides. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're going to win regardless.
Absolutely. I think everything, like I said, points to Robert being the DCU Batman. There has been some stuff, especially this past Peacemaker episode, that is making me think Ben Affleck is coming back.
Yo, nah. This guy's crazy.
Look, it was the Creature Commandos thing, right? From months ago, last year. They showed that silhouette of Batman. He was huge. He was ginormous.
He was huge.
Okay? And now, this past week's fucking Peacemaker episode has confirmed that Suicide Squad from 2016 is canon.
Okay. But James has said that there are some things that are canon and some things that aren't canon.
And you know one of the things that are canon?
Ben
Affleck's Batman, baby! Where did Ben Affleck say he was at the end of The Flash? He's not in the same universe as Barry. Bro. He said he's been lost.
Guys, just rip Snyderverse in the comments for Connor here. Connor will never let go. And
I think there's a chance.
We bonded over the Snyderverse. I love Man of Steel. I love Batman vs. Superman. I love Ben Affleck's Batman. Obviously, Batman should never kill. However, I think from a performance standpoint, Ben Affleck just knocked it out of the park in his Batman performance.
All right, but let me ask you, though. With everything that's been put in the DCU, which one's more likely, Ben Affleck or Robert Pattinson?
Robert Pattinson.
Wow.
Robert Pattinson, 1,000%.
That silhouette in Creature Commandos did not look like Robert Pattinson.
Look, I love Ben's performance as Batman, but the thought of him coming face to face with David Cornsweet Superman,
I can't even imagine.
Legitimately makes me want to throw up. Like, and no, and then it would be like the Iron Man moment where Iron Man sees Rhodey and he's like, something different, new mustache, new facial hair.
It would be so
something
bad.
Something off about you.
I can't picture those two together, but something about it in my head, the wheels are turning where I'm like, I feel like Ben Affleck is a possibility.
Bro, so Ben Affleck has regurgitated that he never wants to come back and do a superhero thing ever again. So we're definitely not getting Ben's Batman back, even if we wanted it to happen. But I mean, how do you feel about the whole like DCU Batman situation? Like, what do you think is more likely?
I think it's dumb. You know, I know a lot of people put it in the same conversation as the 3 Spider-Man, but we never got 2 different Spider-Man movies at the same time. Like, I hate the argument of like, oh, the general audience can't understand it. But I do think it's just putting too much on DC to have 2 Batman simultaneously making movies, because mostly it cuts off these directors and writers on what they could do for their Batman, because it's like, oh, well, that's too similar to Robert Pattinson's. Oh, well, that's getting too fantastical like the DCU's. Like, I don't think Batman should be put in a box. So it's like, just give us the one and just have fun with them. Let him be grounded. Let him be a detective. Let him be fantastical. Let him do whatever he wants. Like, people can accept Batman being in weird situations.
That's the thing, though, is that Matt Reeves has been very adamant that he always wanted to just do 3 movies, and it would be like a grounded crime mystery drama. So, you know, it's like, does James Gunn kind of just like override that decision and steal Rob as like the DCU Batman and be the one to kind of like dictate stories? But I also feel like Matt Reeves and James Gunn have such a great working relationship.
Yeah.
Because they're producing stuff together outside of the stuff in the Batman universe. They're producing Dynamic Duo together.
And Clayface.
And Clayface.
And it's just like, bro, I can watch Superman and then the Batman and be like, yeah, I could see these in the same world. Like, one's grounded, one's fantastical. Who cares? That's what it's like in the comics.
Look, James Gunn he's never going to be the type of CEO that overrides a creative's decision, because he's a creative himself who comes with that type of background.
Yeah.
And that's something he's preached day one.
Yes.
And all of the projects we've been seeing have been led by the creatives at hand. Clayface, the reason that movie is happening is because Mike Flanagan turned in a fantastic script, and they're going to bring that to life and honor that. And so when it comes to Rob being the DCU Batman, what I love is that Rob is actually, like, he wants the fantastical stuff.
Yeah, I know.
That's what gets me, because another thing, too, is that Rob never signed up to be a Batman for, like, 10 plus years, countless films. He signed up for 3 movies, but I feel like Rob would actually be down to, like, be that fantastical Batman, have Robins.
Absolutely. Of course he wants that. He's a fun guy. He loves these comics. He said it multiple times how the 2 villains he wants is Clayface and Mr. Freeze. Like, he gets what Batman is to an extent, and I think it's just, let it happen. I hate that it's probably just one person saying, I don't know if I want this.
Let him off the leash.
Please.
Rob's a little freak, but we love that about him.
We love him.
I mean, he's gonna get a little freaky in Dune 3.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
Bro, I want it so bad, because it does feel like Rob is kind of like held back in a way, because, you know, his movies are so grounded. But it's like, for whoever ends up being the DCU Batman,
We win.
No. It needs to be fantastical.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
It needs to embrace every element of Batman's lore, including a Bat family. Like, bro, I just want to see Nightwing, dude. I want to see Jason Todd. I want to see Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, Stephanie Brown, Carrie Kelly. I want to see Barbara. Like, I want to see everyone, dude. That's my biggest thing.
It really shouldn't be hard. Like, once you become a comic fan and you, like, love Batman, you know what he's about, you kind of look at the movies being like, how have we not gotten any Bat family member yet? Like, what is going on?
And, bro, we talked about this when the Superman trailer dropped, how, like, that trailer just showed, like, everyone.
Yeah.
Like, imagine the first trailer for the DCU Batman movie, and it shows all of the Bat family, and they're, like, having family dinner or something. Like, dude, we are just... That's what's crazy about DC, man, is that...
Sitting on a gold mine.
Like, after everything we've been through as DC fans... We still haven't even scratched the surface.
I know.
Of what we actually want to see from the DC world.
I know. It's crazy.
Like, we haven't even talked about, like, characters like Flash. You know, we're obviously getting Lanterns, Wonder Woman, the rest of the Justice League. You know, Justice League Dark.
Yep.
Like, it's such a rich universe. And so, whoever ends up being Batman, let him be fantastical. Let him get all of the crazy technology. Let him get all of the fantastical villains. We need it. But... So we got Man of Tomorrow, we have the Batman. Also in 2027, we have Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse and Avengers Secret Wars.
It's the craziest year, bro.
It's the biggest year of our lives, dude. Like, I cannot think of a crazier lineup for like superhero movies than that year.
The biggest names in comic books, all gonna be in one year.
So we have Beyond the Spider-Verse, Man of Tomorrow, The Batman Part 2, and Secret Wars. How would you rank the 2027 comic book movies based on how excited you are for them?
Oh, I really don't know. It's really hard.
Look, I want to emphasize this. There is no correct ranking.
No.
Because you could literally take my list, flip it, and I would be like, yeah. You're right.
No,
in any other year, any of these movies would easily be like number one. But because they're all going up against each other, it's so hard. And again, we're all massively excited for these movies, so I don't think there is a wrong ranking.
How do you rank these?
Look, I got my ranking.
Okay,
I've given a lot of thoughts about this. So,
are you starting low or high?
I'm starting low and I'm building up.
Okay.
This is just how I'm feeling right now, but at 4, I have Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Oh.
And this could very well end up being the best movie, the best superhero movie of this year. However, I'm just not thinking about this film on the day-to-day basis as much as the Batman Part 2, Man of Tomorrow, and Avengers Secret Wars.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm putting it at 4. Next up, I have Man of Tomorrow. Hugely excited for Man of Tomorrow. You guys know I love Superman. I can't wait to see the next part of James Gunn's Superman saga. However, these next 2 films are just something else. I mean, the Batman Part 2 is coming in at number 2 because for all of the time that Matt Reeves has taken with this script, this has to be the greatest superhero film of all time.
Yeah,
like
100%.
It has to, at the very least, be better than the first movie. And if it is better than the first movie, then we're in for an all-timer already. You know, and I'm just so excited to see Robert Pattinson return to the suit, to see Colin Farrell's Penguin back, to see just potentially see him team up with a Robin.
Dude.
Just that alone, the thought of Robert Pattinson's Batman having a Robin in this next film, yes, that's enough to make it number 2 for me on this list. And then at number 1, I have Avengers Secret Wars because this is the Marvel event of our lifetimes, and I am not turning my back on Marvel now, bro. Like, Marvel has made their mistakes over the last few years. However, this is going to be a film that has Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, everyone you can think of that has built Marvel into what it is. They're going to be in this movie. And so I'm not turning my back on that, including Tom Holland's Spider-Man and everyone else. And it's just like, again, it's the Marvel event of our lifetime, bro.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's gotten very cool to hate on Marvel, to hate on Doomsday, Secret Wars, all of these films.
I hate that.
Bro, I saw someone call it a sneak. Ridiculous. When I tweeted these 4 movies specifically, and someone called Secret Wars a sneak. Like, it is just...
We're losing the plot here, people.
We are losing the plot. It's gotten insane. And so, yeah, bro. I am so excited for this movie. It's the Marvel event of our lifetimes. And, you know, to the end of the line, right? Like, and this is the end of the line.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to Secret Wars, everything I feel like has built up to this in terms of being a Marvel fan our whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
completely agree. I've been thinking about this list. This is a hard list to do. It's a hard list to do. And I just want to say, all of these are going to be 10 out of 10s. I know it. Like, I'm going to love all of these movies. But at 4, I'm going to put the Batman Part 2. Because it's not a part of the DCU. It's a standalone movie. I know I'm going to love it, but it's just it's the middle movie. It's the continuation. It's going to be great to seeing everything, seeing them all back, but you know, it's a standalone movie. And then that leads me to Man of Tomorrow because it's the start of that universe. I'm very excited to see how they continue, if they can hold that momentum and keep it going. But it is a very early stage in this DCU. So I'm hyped. It's not a big, world-ending movie for me, so whatever. Beyond the Spider-Verse is my number 2 because that is the end of the trilogy. We have been waiting for this trilogy for years. And the fact that it's just the end makes it so important to me.
And I feel like it's going to be the most emotional one.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. People are dying, it's going to be sad. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be loved. Like, I have been waiting for this movie. When you and I went to the theater to see Across, it was like, we were already talking about and next year we're getting Beyond. And so when that just started getting delayed, you and I mean, it was just sad days. And so, again, that puts Secret Wars at number 1 for me. Just like everything you said, this is one of the biggest movies of our lives. And it is just a culmination of over 20 years of movies at Marvel. And it's just going to be beautiful and big and epic. And I have full faith in the Russo brothers, Kevin Feige, and everyone at Marvel.
And the Russos we trust, chat.
Absolutely.
The Russos we trust.
Absolutely.
When it comes to Beyond the Spider-Verse, dude, I'm probably the most confident that this is going to be a banger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Out of all of the other movies on this list,
Yeah.
I'm probably most confident Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to be a banger, and it's just going to solidify the Spider-Verse trilogy as the greatest superhero trilogy of all time with ease.
I mean, we've gotten so many, not knockoff Spider-Verse movies, but like people who have now taken that kind of animation style and made it into their own. It's like, well, when we see the originators, the Kings, back on their throne again for one last time, it's just going to be insane. I know it is.
Come on, dude. I mean, what a year, guys. Let us know. Again, like I said, there is no correct ranking, so let us know in the comments, from lowest to highest. How excited are you for the 4 big comic book movies coming out in 2027? Now, we have some fan questions that you guys sent in, and we're going to end on today's episode with a couple of these questions. So, I was very caught off guard with this question because I just think it's fantastic. Who got more aura? Ultron or Bane?
Whoa.
I mean, these are 2 villains who are some of the most quotable movie villains ever. Every scene, they're just completely taking it over. And I love them so much. I got to give it to Ultron, though.
I was going to give it to Ultron, too.
Like, I don't know if it's the TikTok edits. They convinced me, bro.
I know.
Bane is more quotable, though. Bane has more one-liners, but Ultron, there's just something about him, dude. I think it was the whole, like, Pinocchio, I've got no strings on
That
me
one
type
too.
of
It's
aesthetic.
him ripping through his old self and smashing through. When I first saw that in the theaters, and it has stuck with me ever since, I was like, this is like the coldest thing a villain can do.
And the voice, man. I think the Ultron voice got more aura to it than the Bane voice, even though Tom Hardy's absolutely killing it with that performance.
The plane scene alone with Bane is beautiful. It's one of the best, like, villain scenes I've ever seen. But Ultron, I mean, his speeches, his conversation with Vision at the end of the movie, like, it's just beautiful.
I forgot he's coming back in Vision Quest. Wow, I really hope they handle him well.
They better.
They can't water him down, bro. Like, and we definitely are going to see him in, like, human form, but I'm talking, like, just from a performance, from a threat perspective, I don't want to see Ultron watered down.
We don't need, like, a Baron Zemo type thing where he turns, like, happy and good guy. Like, keep him evil.
No, bro. Ultron is one of those villains that should have come back.
Yes, absolutely.
And he is coming back, but, you know, I feel like he shouldn't have been a one-and-done Avengers villain. He probably should have gotten the 2-movie treatment.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ultron would have been a great villain to continue in the MCU.
Yeah, so between Ultron and Bane, I'm giving the edge to Ultron in terms of aura, but damn, Bane is a beast too. Next question we got on the list. Someone asked, what are the best live-action comic book suits?
Whoa,
so there are 3 that come to mind. I've given this a lot of thought, and these are always the 3, or out of the 3, there's 2 that I've always had in there, but there's one new one. So I have Ben Affleck's Batman suit in Batman vs. Superman. I think that is the perfect Batman suit. It is actually perfect. Like, I can't think of a single negative, and it's going to be hard to ever get a Batman suit as good as that. Next is the Aquaman suit from the first Aquaman movie. When you think of comic suits that are probably the hardest to translate in live action, that is one of them, but they did it so perfectly in that movie.
Never thought we'd get that suit either.
And it was so vibrant.
Yeah.
I love how vibrant that suit is. It is beautiful. Finally, I'm putting Brand New Day. The Spider-Man Brand New Day suit.
Of course, yeah.
And it's crazy because you can also put like Toby's suit and Andrew's Tasman 2 suit in the conversation of like one of the best live action suits ever. But I'm only putting one Spider-Man suit in my top 3, and it's the Brand New Day suit. How are you feeling?
That's a great list. I love that list. When I think of perfect suits, it's again like I love Zack Snyder's Justice League suits. I think all of them are bangers. So I'm going to put Ben Affleck's suit up there too for BVS because that is perfect. Then I'm going to do the Iron Man 1 suit. When he first came out with that red and gold, oh my God. I thought I was looking at an actual comic. Like, that is just perfect. And then, honestly, there are so many great comic book suits, but in recent history, I'm going to do Sentry. I loved his suit, and I didn't think they would go that kind of like campy, bright yellow on him, because that's very comic booky, but they did, and it looked perfect.
Yeah, Sentry was great. We also next week we'll do villains.
Yeah, we should. We should.
'Cause
Because there are some great villain suits.
There's some super great villain suits that came to mind. So next week we'll answer the villain suits. But with that being said, guys, today we ranked the 4 big comic book movies of 2027. We talked a lot about Man of Tomorrow. We answered some of your questions as well. Again, throw in some questions if you guys want us to answer it on the pod. Throw them down in the comment section down below. And we're going to be dropping a new episode of the Supes Show next Friday morning. So thank you guys for tuning into today's episode. Again, make sure to check out all of Connor's content. Links will be in the description of this video. And also, make sure to check out Batman #1. Again, description of this video. Get it now. We're ready to ship it out to you guys ASAP. I love you guys 3000. I'll see you guys next Friday. Peace.
Peace.